Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Class Action Megapark. Now, the park is almost finished. In this episode, I'm just going to work on some of the smaller areas of the park that still need to be filled in. Specifically, I'm going to build a ride over in this area, and a ride over in this area next to this temple. And other than that, yeah, there's just some small stuff that I want to work on. Now, the first thing I actually want to do is make this entrance a bit nicer. And the way I'm going to do that is by placing some of these castle pieces here on top. I'm just going to quickly remove this roof. Going to place these castle pieces right here, like that. And then I'm going to use a piece which is often overlooked. And there's these beautiful Kremlin roof pieces, which are some parts of the expansion objects, and I think these look really cool, and they will work great to finish these spires here, like that. I think that looks a whole lot nicer. Let's play a bit with the height. Yeah, I think I actually like it more when it's a bit higher like this. Actually, yeah, I'll actually put it like this. I think it makes a little bit more sense, but yeah, for sure I quite like these little towers here. I think they make the entrance look a little bit more pretty. Okay, the next thing I want to work on is this area over here. Now, what I was thinking, we could actually have like a sort of like a canyon here, a small canyon. Basically what I think would be cool is if we had a Dodgems ride, which actually does not sit in like this Dodgems arena, but actually it just sits on top of a small cliff here, and basically it will have no edges, and it will look like they can just drive off and fall down. And basically what this ride would be, I'll probably call it something like King of the Hill. So basically you lose if you fall off, and the last man standing wins. Something like that. Yeah, just to make it a little bit more believable, I will actually put some crashed Dodgems right next to the hill. Anyway, I'm probably going to excavate a little bit here, and then put the hill in the middle a bit higher. And I think that will be a great way to actually make this this area over here look a bit nicer. Because now it looks a little bit forgotten. Alright, this area still needs some polish, but this should give you a good idea of what the ride is about. So here you can see this rock kind of shaped like a table with the Dodgems on top. Now I put a little bit less Dodgems than you can usually see on one of these rides, because I think it just makes it look a bit nicer. And I don't really have a good reason for this, but I also changed some of the Dodgems into flying saucers, just because I can. I think it makes it look a little bit more interesting. Okay, what I'm going to do next is add a few crashed vehicles below here. So yeah, I'll just put some of these Dodgems and flying saucers, maybe at different angles, maybe with some fire, some smoke, etc. And I'm also going to add some of these dead trees and stuff below here, just to make it look a little bit, more like an area you don't want to be. Oh yeah, and something else which I did in this ride is that I placed the entrance a little bit lower, and that makes it look like guests will actually jump off the rock here at the edge. Alright, I tried to create some smoke here, but there's something which I forgot to do. I actually have a plugin that I used for the video about Attack on SS Infinity, and it actually creates some crash effects, and I actually forgot to turn it off, and making the ride crash here actually destroyed some of the scenery here, so I'm gonna have to replace that. If I'm lucky, I can still use an autosave. But yeah, I will definitely go and quickly turn off that plugin now. Alright, I think this is a really cool new addition to the park, and I now added a lot of smoke under the ride. I made this long coaster train which circled around it, and as soon as it crashed, all the trains flew in all directions, giving me this nice smoke effect everywhere here. Alright, next off I want to work on a different area of the park, which is over here. And I want to add another ride here, and basically I want to make something which would fit in the theme of this area, which is sort of like a sacrificial temple. Now I will make this by simply making a one tile maze here, and the exit of the maze will simply lead to a pit that goes into the temple, and then after that the guests can walk out of the temple somewhere at the back. So they're actually still alive when they come out. Now I could also drop them into the void, but I kind of want to have a lot of guests in the park. So dropping them into the void would kind of defeat that purpose. By the way, speaking of number of guests, you can actually already see the effects of the attendance boosters, which I made in one of the last episodes. As you can see, the number of guests is steadily increasing, and we went from 2,000 guests a few episodes ago to over 3,500. So that's a good increase in the amount of guests. Now, if by the end I feel like we still need more guests, I can simply make a few more of these underground attendance boosting rides. Alright, here you can see the little temple that I made. Now here on top there's this this small puddle in red goo. You can see the guests lining up. They all would love to sacrifice themselves. You can see an Aztec priest on top. And yeah, I basically made this ride by putting this monorail cycle here in the middle. So you can actually barely see it because of the red stuff below it. So that's probably a good thing. And when they're done with the ride, they will do a little walk to the priest, and then they walk back and jump into the pit. It's quite a silly ride, but I love the way this looks. And here in the back, there's this small tunnel through which the guests emerge when they are done. Now, I just realized I do need to fill in some land here under the temple, and I'm just going to add some foliage around it, just to make it, just to finish up this area here. Okay, I've made another temple here in this area that was still empty. This is the temple of To'olet, and in this building people can say a prayer to the To'olet god. As you can see, lots of people are taking this journey, this cultural enrichment ritual. Alright, I think that's going to be the end of this episode. So area-wise, didn't do too much in this episode, but I did manage to cover up some of the bigger areas in the park that were still empty. So there's just a few spots left, which I will cover in the next episode. So over here, still a small area. I can probably fit a nice shop here. And we can probably fit some decorations in this area here behind the coaster. This area over here is pretty much done, so that's really nice. Not really sure what we can still fit here. And over here there's still an area left. So yeah, just a small area left, and that I can probably finish all of that in the next episode. So just a small recap of what I did in this episode. I changed the entrance towers a little bit. I really like these spires that you have now. I made this Dodgem ride here called King of the Hill. I quite like it, and it's also quite popular with the guests, it seems. Probably a huge queue time, yeah. And over here I made this sacrificial pit where guests are actually lining up to sacrifice themselves to the gods. I think the harvest will be very bountiful this year. And finally I made the Temple of Toilet. I think it's a fitting toilet for the Aztec team. Now, yeah, something which I didn't mention yet, which I will probably also do in the next episode, is add a few more temples under this ride. And I think with that, then the area under this coaster will also look a bit nicer. But yeah, just a few bits and bobs to do in the park before we can call it finished. Alright, hope you enjoyed watching me build. If you liked this video, please consider giving it a like. It would really help out my channel, and you can just do it with a click of a button. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.